Dear viewer, welcome to this session on life below water and SDGs, especially our students who are taking admission, who are enrolled in Master of Arts in Sustainability Science and Postgraduate Diploma in Sustainability Science. It is under the course MSD 019 Global Strategies to Sustainable Development. In addition to that, this is a part of our Mass second year aquatic ecosystem. Today in this session, what we are trying to understand is brief into status of life below water, especially in India, and what United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, that is on SDGs goal number 14. We are going to look into the indicators and targets where global efforts is going on to look into to maintain the ocean diversity, ocean environment, and we will try to understand our country's initiative to take care of all this or to achieve all those targets and indicators in which way we are trying to improve on our country context. So when we talk about life below water, the first question come in our mind is, where is Earth's water? Now if you look into that, around 70% of the Earth's surface is in the ocean. In that you will see 96% of the ocean and 0.9% is other saline water. Who is this? Directly we cannot use directly without any process, we cannot use directly for their consumption. And the remaining 2.5% that means fresh water where available, it's available for human consumption, right? Of that, if you look into that, surface and other fresh water, it's contribute 1.2%, and of that of 22.5% of the global water, then 30.1% are kept inside as groundwater, and glacier and ice cave is about 68.7%. Again, if you look into 1.2% of the 2.5% of the fresh water, then you will see 3% of 1.2% is available as an atmosphere, in the form of atmospheric vapor. Again, if you look into that, you will see living things, liquids in the form liquids and living things is 0.26%, and in the reverse you will see 0.49% of 1.2%, and swamp masses, which is, and directly we cannot use those water, 2.6%. Moisture as a form of moisture in the soil, it's about 3.8%. When it looks into the lakes, it is about 20.9% of the 1.2% surface under fresh water, right? Still, more ground ice in the permafrost, that 69% majority of them is still kept as in the form of ground ice and permafrost of those surface water, fresh water. So when we look into that, then we know that we are getting only small percentage of water available in the world, and the majority of the, 97%, around 97% of water is in the ocean. So we need to understand the role of the ocean and their health, right? When you talk about life below water, there is need to understand the biodiversity pattern. Life evolved itself from the ocean, right? When we look into the pattern of biodiversity that is available in aquatic ecosystem, we will understand that the pattern of biodiversity that is available across the world, that is influenced by different factors. Those are, latitude, in which latitude they are, depth, and habitat type, whether they are in wetland, whether they are in which Arctic or Atlantic water. So when we look into the biodiversity as it is, this richness of the species, we observe that coastal areas and the tropics have high richness, and richness is decline. The richness is decline towards the poles and deeper water, right? So when we have this understanding, let us have a look into, as I mentioned, we are trying to understand our country's context. How much water and what type of aquatic ecosystem our country is having. India has a vast coastline of 7,517 kilometers, of which, peninsular India, it is about 5,423 kilometers, and 2,094 kilometers in the island, Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep Island. We have enough special economic zone, that's around 2.02 million square kilometer, and that includes estuaries, lagoons, mangroves. That is highly biodiverse area. Now, when we are talking about availability of biodiversity patterns, we know that this biodiversity patterns, the availability is high, richness of species is very high in coastal and in the tropics. So we have a special economic zone. We have 2.02 million square kilometer. Another form of that aquatic ecosystem is we have wetland ecosystem. That when you look into wetland ecosystem, you will see ecosystem in our country being diversity in geographical landform, diversity in everything. You will see, you will find out a wetland from that Himalayan region to the coastal, right? Means high altitude, from the high altitude area to the coastal area, right? It is, when you look into that, we have this wetland of 67,429 numbers in around 68,000, covering about 4.1 million hectares. Of these, 2,175 millions are natural. Wetlands are natural. Means around 1.5 million hectares are natural, and 2.6 million hectares are man-made. When it comes into coverage of the mangrove, it is about 4,445 square kilometers, and it is around 0.4 million hectares. And when it comes into estuaries, it is about 3.9 million hectares, followed by 3.5 million hectares of backwaters. So we have the man-made impoundment around 3 million hectares, and all the different drainage system, including natural rivers, that its main tributaries and canals, we have about 28,000 kilometers. So this canal irrigation scenario also constitute an important, also play an important role in the production process, right, and the flow of water and in water cycle. So this is our country's context, the geographical area covered by different water. When it comes into the resources in water, fish is one of the major resources. When you look into that, we have about 783 species of freshwater fishes, and among that 223 are endemic in our country, right? And the Indian fish population represent about 80% of the global fishes. And as for latest data in 2024, India is the second largest producer of fish in the world, that contribute about 8% of the world. But in front of what is happening in front of us, we know that vast area of the oceans, that ocean that play an important role, and whatever flow of waters beginning from glaciers, it finally reaches to the ocean. So if you look into the ecosystem condition of the ocean, now it is in danger because of different region, because due to our global human activities. Some of them are, if you look into that, who is very important, is plastic as a form of marine pollution, then that ocean warming due to global climate change happening, overfishing when you look into the fish, then acidification of ocean, then eutrophication, which is also the factor, right? Because of that, that have threatens to the life in ocean, right? So, in front of us, the challenges, we have three major challenges we have in front of us is that 3 billion people around depend on marine and coastal biodiversity. When there is pollution in the ocean, that directly impact to those people. Not only that, across the world, we are also impacting because of, we are also affecting because of that marine pollution directly or indirectly. So what we have to do? We need to protect our marine coastal ecosystem. When it comes to production of fishes, if you look into global figure, as per UN Sustainable Development Goal report, 40% of the world ocean suffer from overfishing, poor fishing practices, and poor waste management in the marine ecosystem or nearby ecosystem. So, we need to stop, we need to limit such kind of harmful fishing subsidies which used to be given by different government. We have to limit on that illegal fishing practices. We have to understand the maximum sustainable yield of the fisheries. Coral reefs that provides home to around 25% of all marine life, they are being destroyed because of this pollution, because of acidification process. So we need to fight the climate change. So the global common effort from the last few decades is, one of that is UN Sustainable Development Goal, which has to be achieved by 2030. And goal number 14, this UN SDG 14, that talks about life below water with an main aim to conserve and sustainably use world's oceans, seas, and marine resources. It has 10 target, 11 indicators. The measure targets, if we have a quick look into that, prevention and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, which may be from different sources, maybe from freshwater, that rivers, or from any sources. Sustainably manage and protect the marine and the coastal ecosystem. Reason behind is we need to avoid significant adverse impact, including resilience of that particular ecosystem, strengthening their natural resilience capacity, and take action for their restoration. As I mentioned, ocean acidification is one of the important concerns, so we need to minimize this and we need to address the impact of ocean acidification. There is a need to regulate harvesting and that overfishing, illegal, unregulated fishing. There is effective mechanism is required. At least globally, we must try to conserve 10% of the coastal and marine areas as per national and international law. Need to increase the economic benefit to small island countries, least developed countries. They have to be supported. We need to support them for sustainable production and consumption process. There is a need to increase scientific knowledge, developing research capacity. We need to transfer marine technology for proper fishing mechanism, for pollution protection, prevention from one country to other country. Enhancing the conservation and sustainable use of ocean and their resources. And it should be under global common law. To look into this concern and policies program implemented by different countries under the umbrella that targets of United Nations, the indicators to look into that progress is there is a need to look into the process the level of eutrophication in coastal area. Then look into, as we know that plastic pollution is one of the factor. So plastic debris density is one of the indicator. Then when you talk about ecosystem, ocean ecosystem, especially ocean, seas, beach conservation, ecosystem-based approach is one of the best approach to look into these issues. Then acidity is a concern in the marine area. So regular monitoring of average marine acidity is important. Looking into the fish stock, we need to look into proportion of fish stock that we need to maintain maximum sustainable yield. That has to be properly looked. Then when you talk about protecting the ecosystem, one of the important this approach we are following is protected area. So the area of covered by protected areas that need to be maintained. Then, as we know, technology transfer, research grant, that is more important. So what is proportion of total research budget allocated to improve these things? So what are our Indians or countries, as we know that we have a long coastal area, we have different aquatic ecosystem. So what are the different policies program implementing in our country to achieve, to maintain the aquatic ecosystem, especially improving the limiting the pollution in the ocean, improving the livelihood of the people over there? We have different policies and program. Among that, Nil Country Mission, Blue Revolution, which was introduced in 1985-90. That 75-year plan. It's a multidimensional and that focuses on increasing fisheries production and productivity from aquaculture and fisheries resources both in land and marine environment that limit the pressure of overfishing in the ocean area. Then we have National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem that was introduced in 2015. It is a merge of two important, which was existed in 2015 plan, that is National Well and Conservation Program 1986 and National Lake Conservation Program. It talks about conservation of lake, maintenance of proper maintenance of the lake catchment area. Then we have Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana that was introduced in 2020 with an aims to modernize and strengthen the value chain, enhance traceability and establish a robust fisheries management. Then we have Sagarmala project that was introduced in 2015 that enhance the performance of the logistics sector by reducing logistic costs for both domestic and international trade. We have interlinking of rivers with an aim to manage water resources by connecting. As I told you, we know that we have vast river network system. So connecting different river means from surplus rivers to with water scarce area and developing a network of canals and reservoir. It has two major components when we talk about interlinking of rivers. One is, under our national perspective plan. One is Himalayan river development component. Another is peninsular river development component. Ken Betwa, as you know, you must know about this. Ken Betwa link project is the first link project under this national perspective plan, which we have effectively implementing. The National Coastal Mission, which was introduced in 2014, This aims to address the climate change impact on coastal area, and it also ensures sustainable development of coastal region. It has different components: managing action plan, conservation of mangroves and coral reefs, capacity building, outreach program of coastal states and union territories. The Mangrove Initiative by Shoreline Habitat and Tangible Incomes, which was introduced in 2013, which called is MISTI, with an objective of this scheme to conserve and restore the mangrove ecosystem. Under this scheme, the government is giving financial assistance to the local community to undertake mangrove plantation activities. So, we're implementing a number of policies and programs. We're strengthening our network. So, through this, let us look into how our performance are. By implementing different policies and programs, as per SDG Index 23-24, among the states, as far as this goal number 14, life below water is concerned, West Bengal with 100 score, leading top, followed by Andhra Pradesh, 95 score. So in this way, we are performing well. Right. Again, and when we look into the present, if you look into the area cover, which we are able to increase is 4,992. Then when we look into global common efforts, which is part of UN SDGs, United Nations UNCLOS, we are compliance of international laws in ensuring the conservation and sustainable use of ocean. When we talk about maximum sustainable yield in fishing, so in that, if you look into maximum sustainable yield in fishing, it was 3,078 million ton per year in 2015-16. Now it is 5,311 million ton per hectare in 23-24. So you see, in this map, you will see how are that performing this, and when you look into 2021 map, you will see this red indicate as that is 0, that is scored from 0 to 49, and this yellow indicate 50 to 64, and this green indicate that 65 to 99, and this blue indicate that 100. So you will see how it changes from 2021 to 23-24. When we look into the global status, if we look into different targets we talk on, targets and indicators we talk on in the beginning of that, when we discuss on different targets indicator, that global targets and indicator, that is listed in different 14.1, 14.2, 14.3. When we talk about 14.1, marine pollution, and we talk about 14.2, when we talk about 14.5, when we talk about that 14C, you see this indicate, for example, in 14.1, our progress, our progress is very marginal. We need to improve. Then when it comes into fisheries subsidies, we are progressing very moderately. Then when we talk about small scale that artisanal fishing support, in that we are on the track, we are getting that. Then when we talk about marine resources for small island developing state and least developed countries, regression is going on. So what we have discussed today in this session is we have talked about different targets and indicators in brief, and we have looked into different policies, programs implemented in our country. What is the performance of different states? And again, we look into global progress in different targets. With this, thank you very much. Thank you.